Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
And this is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Uh, just a heads up, we will be talking about the movie pretty in depth, so just want to give everyone a spoiler warning.
Yeah, and this is a fairly recent movie, so this is maybe some listeners have not seen this movie, but we're going to be talking about it. So this is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and from the Letterbox app, it released in 2022, just recently, and then it's directed by Ryan Coogler, and so yeah, we're going to be talking about Wakanda Forever. All right, Kai. We typically open it up with what we like about this movie. Can you let me know what you thought about it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked it so much I watched it twice. I
Like
don't
in
do that
like
for
two
many
days,
movies.
right?
Yeah, I watched it Friday, then I watched it Sunday. Um, I really liked how they paid homage to Chadwick Boseman, who was the former Black Panther in the movie, but sadly passed away.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely.
so I really enjoyed that they paid homage, but they didn't focus on it too much. They allowed the movie to or allowed the series to move forward without him. And yeah, it was just an overall, it was a good story. Like you somehow, some way, the writers for Black Panther one or the Black Panther and Wakanda Forever made you side with the opposing character or the villain of the movie. Somehow you still want them to triumph at the end, even though they're not the one that should triumph.
Yeah, quote unquote, the villain of the movie and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I share the same kind of idea or like thoughts of they acknowledged Chadwick Boseman dying in real life, the actor, and then in the movie, kind of acknowledging that the character has died and everything, and they have a funeral, and it's all. I was telling my girlfriend afterwards. I was telling myself like, do not cry in this movie theater right now. But I'm assuming everyone else around us had probably shed at least one tear. It was very poignant to acknowledge it, and it was a graceful way of allowing people to mourn both the character in the movie and then also the person that played him and everything. And I think that's a testament to Marvel, and also I think really a testament to what Chadwick Boseman was able to do in one film to like impact everybody around him, everybody watching the movies. And so I think that was something that was necessary, but also well done by the team working on the movie. But same thing with thoughts of like you feel for the villain Namor
Mhm.
who has this you kind of question in your head like, oh yeah, totally, like I would probably be that person too, where it's like this is some shady stuff going on, and my people, we have we fled a situation and we're able to strive and build a civilization underwater to to hide from that or to strive and build this great civilization. And now um things are happening where like the exposure of the civilization will kind of come about, and that's what Neymar is trying to protect as the leader, king, or champion of his people.
Yeah. And I didn't mention it before, but I also like the fact that it gets a you feel a lot of people say that TV shows, because there's so many episodes, the creators are able to build a world. And as you watch a series, you get more in depth and you learn more about the world you're within in said show. For me, it feels or felt like Black Panther 1 set that world up and Wakanda Forever expanded on that world. In most Marvel movies, Black Panther, to me at least, feels like it's in its own lane. Like every Marvel movie is in its own world, but none of them feel as complete as Wakanda.
Yeah, and it's funny because like all the Marvel movies are technically supposed to be happening just in the same Earth and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
in space and all that stuff. And so, but yeah, like you're entirely correct where it's like the first Black Panther set the stage for this civilization that was hidden away, were extremely advanced and everything, and then you saw more in the second one where you saw more of like the daily lives of where the throne room of say Wakanda was not the only place where you saw Wakandans where
Mm-hmm.
they have their lives and everything. They live their daily lives and all that, and you saw more of the space around them. And same thing with the Namor character in that civilization. I forget the name.
Uh,
There well,
Talokan, Talokan.
yeah, I'm like that's I'm pretty much that I'm saying that's probably close enough. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you're pretty close and everything. And but they're like based off the ancient Mayans
Yeah.
from the southern portion of Mexico. And so and that was something that like myself and my girlfriend were not from the southern portion of Mexico, but were ancestors of people of our ancestors were from those places. And so it was like one of the first times that we saw kind of like a nice depiction of that ancient civilization and sort of like an ancient tongue of some of the people that we may have experienced previously or our past and stuff. So I think that was a nice depiction of that, and then also the Wakandan kind of culture too.
I agree. Um, what what didn't you like about the movie?
Uh, I don't know. It's a I for me like I think it was immediately it would have been nice to see more of the Namor and his civilization.
Hmm.
I think to kind of get to the point of the end where it like Namor is Marvel has like this issue of like killing off their villains, and so pretty much every I think what they try to do is like kind of build this experience that like it's all encompassing within that one movie, so you find a finality with the movie. So you can watch a movie, say a Spider-Man or Iron Man and stuff, and there's a centralized villain in that movie, and then so you want to see an end as possibly as a moviegoer wants to see an end to that story arc kind of going on in that movie. So typically, Marvel has had this issue of like killing off some of these villains, where it would be nice to kind of like keep them going for maybe a movie or two, or just come in for another sequel. Where here, I think they're setting up more of kind of like having like maybe a centralized movie with Neymar and more of him in the future and stuff. So maybe we'll see more of that kind of like civilization, the characters that are around Neymar, because I think the person that plays like his bodyguard or like not his bodyguard but like his right hand person and is the one that wants to protect the civilization as much as Neymar too. I think is like a character that could be ever expanded on too. I think that was sort of like one thing where I came out where it's like, and also the people that they're supposed to be emulating have like a lot of culture for themselves too. So seeing more of that within the movie or possibly in the future would be something I would ask about. But in terms of movie wise, I don't know. The connection of like what was the Asian character and then the
Oh, Ross and
yeah, that's like whatever. I think that's just kind of like a side story that like
yeah, they just have to keep
part of
that
it.
running.
That's
Yeah.
that's probably building other things, but it's like whatever. It's like that's
Well,
never.
because the director, she's building her own team. Like she
Supposedly,
has,
right?
yeah. Yeah, you saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so you saw like her at the end.
Uh,
She pulled the wacky Captain America, and she's pulling these other other people and
Yeah,
putting a team
I
together.
forgot that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she is kind of building like a team for herself and everything. And whether or not
Mhm.
I don't even know if that I don't know. Someone I was watching something that like supposedly that the agent guy is supposed to turn into something or like he's supposed to be like a character that's supposed to be like a superhero sometime in the future and stuff. And I have
Oh,
no clue where they're going with that.
I guess. I don't know. But I think you mentioned it earlier, but I think Namor was supposed to get a movie before, so he might that still might be in the works. Marvel drops that huge map of this is where we're going in 2022 and this is where we're going in 2026 and you're just like
Yeah.
just give it to me
Like
all right now. Like, why do I have to wait until
eventually it's gonna be like
2026?
2030. Like
Yeah,
true, true. Yeah, I think their roadmap, they have a lot of things going on and you can
so
always
many.
ask for more and but it's kind of probably difficult to add in like a whole nother movie or they do a TV show. I think that's it's kind of
I
what
wouldn't
nice
mind a
about these
TV
TV
show.
shows. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of nice about it because their production value of the TV
It's
shows,
like a movie.
yeah, it's comparable and stuff, and they're digestible. I think we were talking before we started recording where it's like TV shows nowadays are pretty easy to watch on a work day and everything. You're not gonna watch a full-fledged movie typically.
Yeah, it's tough.
So yeah, that's tough, but it happens. We do
Yeah,
it
it
all
definitely
the
happens. Yes.
time. But what would you what would you take as like what you didn't like about the movie?
um, I agree with you on them not giving much of. I wish they would have went more in depth into Talokan or where Namor was from, like that world, because they kind of teased us with it. They gave us a little bit. He started kind of talking about it and the origin story of it, but I really wish they would have spent more time there. Like you said, the little side story with Agent Ross was funny. I wish so. Those are two things. The third thing would be I wish they would have given us uh more glimpses of Riri Williams building her suit because it was kind of like, hey, she's cutting out this heart, then she smashes it, then the heart falls to the ground. Now she's spray painting like plastic. Now she has a full suit, and it's like, what? Where
True, true.
she didn't make
Yeah.
the gun. I want to see guns getting made and all this other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, she's like Iron Man. So
Well, she is, yeah. And then now she's
yeah.
getting a TV show.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had no clue.
Yeah, they're getting an
I remember
Ironheart TV
I
show.
was watching a Target I think ad and I was like, oh, these are
Yeah.
some characters and or like just some like Target characters in their advertising. But I was like, I watched the movie. I was like, hey, that's that person from the Target ad. But that's awesome. But yeah, like it's
Yeah.
true. I don't know, or like they're flying around and they have an Iron Man suit. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, you have all that stuff probably around you in Wakanda, but like how Iron Man had it in or like what's his name? Had it in the first movie where he's like he
So
has that
that's
moment
where
to
I
like
thought
build
they were
it.
going with it. Like I I remember seeing in the trailer, like when they finally released the trailer for Wakanda Forever, I remember her hammering out that heart and it falling to the ground. And I instantly was like, oh, Tony Stark. And as you know, my roommate Jomar is super into Marvel and is always on Reddit reading up on stuff. So he was like, yeah, she's the female equivalent to Tony Stark. And now we don't have Iron Man, so she's taking that place. And then I start seeing things about the Ironheart TV show.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I did not. I was like, and right now I'm thinking like I don't even remember a commercial for Wakanda, knowing that like whether or
It
not I would be able to like know that that was her. But that's awesome.
was
Yeah,
subtle. Yeah, it was super subtle.
yeah. But that's awesome. I think that's what's cool about like them changing the mantle for a lot of these people. Like, granted, we had a quick glimpse of Thor being Lady Thor with
Hmm.
Natalie Portman and everything. And so like
That was such
things
a
like that were
messed
like,
up tease.
yeah,
I'm still
but
angry about
but
that.
as these people get super old that like played the first like two phases of these people, It's like, yeah, you need to kind of like move in some new people to this.
I guess. But that's what they were saying. I was watching something recently and they were talking about the fact that this last phase of movies and TV shows was basically the previous characters passing the mantle. So they talked about Captain America passing his mantle. They talked about Hawkeye passing his mantle. They talked about Black Widow passing her mantle. And it's like, okay, now they're setting up the new set of Avengers. That's great. So we'll see how those TV shows and movies, how those are.
True, true. Yeah, yeah. This what is this phase four?
Or yeah,
And supposedly Ant-Man Quantumania is supposed to start phase five, and that comes out like in the
yeah,
next
because
few months.
Wakanda was the last of Phase 4.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been kind of like, yeah, if you think about it, it's been a lot of TV shows for phase four, and
Hmm.
we don't know if the pandemic has kind of like caused a lot of like kind of like them having to like redo a lot of what they wanted to do for phase four, or phase four and five and six and stuff, and
Yeah.
kind of going forward. Because like, hey, all right, like to ask you this, it's like if they're kind of in the moment to set up this large grandiose villain that's going to be like a Thanos type villain.
Supposed to be Doctor Doom.
Well, one of
Oh
them is
no, it's
supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be
Doctor
Kang.
Doom. Kang, Doctor
Yeah,
Doom's
Kang is
supposed to
coming.
show up, and then I
Hmm.
think the big Thanos villain. A lot of people are saying it's going to be Galactus, who's the
Ooh.
World Eater and everything. And so
Yeah.
remember that big old puff of smoke from like the Fantastic Four, the old Fantastic Four movies,
Yeah.
that like the one that the Surfer was like floating away from. That
Hmm.
puff of smoke was Galactus supposedly. But
Oh my
I
goodness.
think Marvel's supposed to do it
Do
justice.
it justice. Well, now they're
Yeah,
doing a new Fantastic Four too, so
yeah,
that
and
should be
so
good.
they're totally gonna have like, and Galactus in the grand scheme of things is like a Fantastic Four, I think, character
Hmm.
originally and stuff. And so, but but yeah, but even right now, it's like, do you believe they did any setup? I can see that they're going to be pulling at straws for phase five. Like, oh yeah, that did set up a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Looking at everything right now in phase four, like, I don't know what they set up going
There was
forward,
more
but
team building. Yeah, it really felt like more team building.
and just, yeah, like you said, like changing the mantle of like, here you
Hmm.
go, like here's my bow and arrow and
Good
all that stuff.
luck.
Yeah, right. Like I'm old now.
I gotta rest these hips,
Yeah, like I signed a
this
20-year
elbow.
contract and I'm done.
Uh-huh. I did my movies. It's your turn.
Yeah. But I guess this would be like a slow phase four where it's like they did their duty and everything. They were able to bring everyone to keep watching and stuff and watching the TV shows on the
Yeah.
streaming service and stuff. But I think phase five does seem like it's gonna be
I'm
coming
excited
out
for
of
it.
the gate with a bang with that Quantum
Yeah.
Mania and stuff. Because Kang looks awesome. And talking about Namor being in this movie, like you root for Namor and you're like, totally kill
Yeah.
whoever the hell you want. like yeah, talking about like you got a glimpse of like the little civilization that they had underwater. Like the
Oh
dude
yeah.
brought the sun to his people and everything. It's like you
I
want to see
love
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
like that's amazing. And so and you want to see like how the hell did you do that or something. But
Yes. Show me how you
uh
brought the sun to the ocean, sir.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
how do you control these animals that are in the ocean? Like, what? Don't skip
right,
over all that.
right. There's whales and stuff. I
You
want to
have
see.
whales. You just ride them like horses.
And you have grenades that blow up into water.
Water,
So,
like what? They had a whole basket full of them and
yeah,
almost
and a
tipped over
whale
a
was
ship.
bringing them.
Yeah, like come on. You skipped over all of that.
Yeah, so it would have been nice to see like more of their preparation too. And
Yeah.
I think that kind of what goes into like the downside. It's no matter what, I think people want more
Hmm.
visual of their people and everything.
Give me a Snyder cut. I'll be happy with it. Give me a Coogler cut.
But not black and white. No.
Yeah, not black and white. Give me a Coogler cut. I'll be happy.
Cougar cut, but nice and vivid, nice all the colors and
Yes.
everything that typically like you go to Mexico and everything, you see all these colors and but not none of this black and white crap. But what was I saying? But yeah, but like Kang, but like talking about like Kang in the next one, it does look like they're setting up where like that Kang seems like he's kind of like good and bad. I don't know. You're
Yeah.
kind of like because at the end of
I think
Loki,
he's
and this
toying
is
with them.
maybe, and it's like he's probably been down there way too long, and he's like, I
Hmm.
gotta need a way to get out. Because at the end of Loki, he's definitely a bad dude and
But I think
everything.
that's a
So,
different Kang.
and that's the thing where it's like your
Because
your
there's like
mind
multiple Kangs. Yeah.
your mind starts to hurt too much when you're thinking about like
Oh
how many
yeah.
people is this person?
But like to be the person that has to keep a track of all of this, like I would hate to be. It's like I think I don't know if it's true or not, but they say when you write an episode of Law and Order, they give you a it's a Law and Order or Criminal Minds. I don't remember. They give you a binder, and you're supposed to like read the binder and understand different clues that have been used or different things that have been used in previous episodes and callbacks and stuff.
Cool. So it's like, here, don't mess up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they have
Here's
some
what
sort
we
of
got.
binder that is passed. Hey, you're doing the next one. Here you go. We
or
talked about this in episode one of WandaVision. Make sure you bring it back. It's like, what?
or it's a crazy, highly paid person that sits at every
It
single
just
film and
writes it all
everything.
down.
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work right there. I know it. I got my binder in my head. That does not work.
They just have a Jeopardy button. Bam.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
But I
That
can
doesn't
I can
work.
imagine that like She-Hulk kind of like joked around that Kevin Feige is like
Oh, with
is like
yeah.
a computer and everything. I can imagine that they should be a bunch of people. But it's funny,
Has
I
to
was
be.
like, I don't know if it's true. I don't know how I gotta watch the first one again in Black Panther. But
Mhm.
but they said I was reading something on I think I was in the depths of like Reddit and everything, reading a bunch of crap. And but they're showing like in the comic books, Wakanda has no water around it. It's a landlocked state.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then in the first Black Panther, there's no water around Wakanda, but then
Well, they didn't
magically,
show all of Wakanda though. There's no
but
way they showed all of Wakanda.
that
They
goes
were
to
in
the
Wakanda for
point
like
that we saw
5 minutes.
more of Wakanda this time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think he walked through town once, but yeah, you're not gonna see water in town.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then yeah, that was it. He wasn't really in Wakanda.
I like that they showed more of the throne of M'Baku,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I really like that because it was like he lives in the mountain like the Grinch and everything.
Well, because they
And
they teased it like they showed it a little bit in the first one, but
a
they
little
really
bit,
showed
yeah,
more. Yeah.
yeah. I think it was like it was super cool to see that where like and they like and he's really helpful. So what I'm getting is that there's like different nations or like
Hmm.
people in Wakanda that kind of came and
Well, even
became
the Rhino
Wakanda.
guys, they didn't even show
Yeah.
the Rhino guys in
Yeah,
stuff.
the one that and that dude's alive, right? Is that what they
Well,
said
so
that
they referenced it, yeah. So they kicked them out, but yeah, her husband's alive.
but like that's what she got mad about that like, oh,
Hmm.
at least you can go visit him and everything and know that he's
Exactly.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. As I was like, I was trying to remember. I was like, when you watch something, you're like going back into like it's like rewinding a VCR tape. You're like,
Uh-huh.
did I see that?
You put a freeze frame and try to go back and play it back.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, I didn't know
Ah,
this.
shit, he is alive.
Wait, so I got to ask you this: what
Yeah.
did you think of the two? We already said spoiler warning, so we can
Oh,
talk
definitely.
about this. Uh, the
Don't tell me
two
there's
big
two post
reveals.
credit things. I was gonna say, was that
No,
I
there's only
thought we
one.
talked there was only one.
So the first time I watched the movie, I sat through all the credits
Yeah.
and realized there was only one. And then at the end, it just says Black Panther will return. So I was very angry.
Yeah.
But the two reveals. So the reveal when she makes the heart shape, she finally successfully makes the heart shaped herb,
Uh-huh.
and she has her vision. That
Oh,
reveal, and then also the reveal after the first post credit reveal. What do you think of those two
the
reveals?
only post credit. The only
Only
post credit
post credit.
reveal, right?
Sorry, the
Yeah.
only one.
But
Unless you want to sit through all those credits.
and then get nothing. Uh,
Exactly.
to the first post credit. So we're
Hmm.
acknowledging that like he has a son. So T'Challa, who is
Hmm.
Chadwick Boseman's character, um, had a child with
Yes.
what's her name?
Nakia.
Nakia. So had a child, and what you'll say like maybe he's like 8, 10,
Uh,
single digits, maybe like high single digits.
his child.
Yeah, the kid at the end.
What do you mean high single digits? Oh, you
Like
cut out for a second.
he's like 8 or 10 or something, right?
Yeah, he's a kid,
Yeah,
eight,
he's a
like
kid.
between 8 and 10. Yeah.
I was like shocked. I was like I did not know what the hell they were doing. I was like they somehow are thinking that they can bring back T'Challa. I kind of like it right now that they have a kid. He's Prince T'Challa technically,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And do you see this person? And I think we talked about it after the
So,
movie that he's going to
mhm.
transition to like a full grown person at some point, right?
Yeah. So what I heard is they're setting it up so because the Black Panther I knew, like my dad was a comic book nerd, so he would always say, "Oh yeah, Black Panther and Storm had a child together." So when I saw the post credit scene, I was like, "Oh, T'Challa had a kid with Nakia. That's not Storm." So what people are thinking, or I guess assuming now, is that they're setting up Prince T'Challa to get with Storm, which would then like we already have mutants because Namor was talking about being a
Namor,
mutant and
yeah,
all that good stuff. So now once they start bringing in the X-Men, we can have Prince T'Challa and Storm. I don't know her actual name, her tribal name, but they can then have a child.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good. I like that like Marvel has that ability to like at least keep comic book people on their toes. Like, oh,
Hmm.
like because I think you would bore a lot of people, especially comic book people that like have read the stories in the comic books if you just retell the story of the comic book.
Yeah.
Like I think you need to pay homage, but I think you need to it's nice that they've been doing that where it's like they change up the story just a little bit that like maybe it pisses off some people that are like really diehard fans and stuff or of the
Hmm.
comic books, but I think even people that have just some semblance of the story in their head from the comic books, at least they can be like, ah, that's a good way to kind of put it. That's a good way to kind of approach that and not make it the same story reiterated in a visual form, which is nice, but
Hmm.
it's not just retelling of a story that's written in a comic book.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited
But
to see where they take that.
does he become Black Panther? Do you think?
Yeah, I think yeah, it's in the cards.
So then, what happens to Shuri?
I think they're gonna pass the mantle. I think they gave her shine, like she had her time, and then whenever they make the third Black Panther film, which probably gonna be a couple years down the road, that's when it's like, okay, hey, he's a teenager, maybe young 20s. It's his time to take the mantle.
Because technically, he would become the true king, right? Because Shuri is
Yes.
just the queen because of them not knowing that he had a child, and then
Hmm.
everyone else is dead as to who believed would be the next in line, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think M'Baku was fighting for the throne, though. I think he
Well, he
wanted to
shows
take the
up, but I think he was
throne.
just joking around, right?
Most likely.
Yeah, but maybe you and kind of going to the second part of your question as to like what
Hmm.
who Shuri saw when she went to the ancestral world.
Hmm.
As like the story is that when they kind of take the what is it the heart shaped herb and
Yeah.
everything, and then they kind of they die basically is or like they kind of pass on to the ancestral world. And T'Challa, when he became the Black Panther, he saw his father,
Yeah.
and so and then um Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger, saw his father, right?
Hmm.
Is that what it was? Yeah. And
Yeah.
then and so they typically will see someone who is their ancestor who will guide them and say like, yes, you made the right decision, or here's your purpose as being the Black Panther. But Shuri actually saw Killmonger
Her
and
cousin.
the cousin, and who took the throne by force.
Yeah.
And I was kind of I was like, huh. I was like, it's kind of nice. It was a nice part of the movie, or in terms of like, it made you not like that decision.
Hmm.
Uh, But I was like, man, I was like, she can't be a douchebag. Like, come on. Like, because like she definitely is like trying to like take back or like defend Wakanda with force,
Hmm.
and where they're Wakanda and the other civilization, Namor civilization, is pretty much they're exactly the same. They were trying to be hidden. They both have vibranium,
Hmm.
and and to another point, I liked when they first meet Namor when they're at like the
Oh, the
river or
lake.
like the
Yeah,
water,
river, whatever. Yeah.
and she was like, and the mom was like
He's covered
how
in
do you, yeah, and they're like, you he's covered with with vibranium. It's like,
it.
yeah. It's like we don't have a little bit, we have a whole bunch too.
Exactly.
So
Like,
but
look at all this. I'm decked out.
yeah, right. but but yeah, it's like I don't know. It was kind of for me. I was like, man, this sucks. I was like, I don't like at least make her good and everything. Like make her a good Black Panther and everything. But maybe she saw that as like I shouldn't be Black Panther, and so we'll like pass the mantle over to the young T'Challa and everything, and maybe that's the story arc. I don't
I
know
th-
where like yeah.
no, I think you saw her trying to figure out what path she wanted to take. Because initially she wanted to kill Namor. Like
Hmm.
that was her intent. Like, okay, I want to
Yeah.
kill him because that's the only way we're going to be safe as a country. And then you realize, like, once like, she died again, because like you were saying, like she died, like they die when they take the heart shaped herb. So when she was stabbed by Namor, she died again. And that's when she saw her mother, and her mother was like, no, show the real you, show the true you. And that's when she realized, like, okay, I don't need to kill this guy. Like he wants the same thing I want. And they were able to like figure out some sort of way to band together.
You think it's because it was a synthetic version that like
So that she was able to see or have like a
that
second vision.
that's what was the repercussions of like you saw someone you did not expect, your crazy cousin, and then you kind of go through like a troubling stage, and then you kind of find your way. Hey, maybe I'm probably
I
like
don't know. No, I
going
think it
too much into the
was
weeds.
no, I think that's who she was supposed to see. Like T'Challa was groomed by his father.
Hmm.
So that's all he knew. Like that was the path he knew. So when he took his heart shaper, that was you knew he was gonna see his father.
Yeah, definitely.
Same thing with Killmonger. Like he was groomed by his father. Shuri was groomed by her mother, but she was in that turmoil of like, okay, I just lost my brother who's my best friend, and I just lost my mother. So she really didn't have someone that she could go to for guidance. So I think the next, because she was in that angry state, and we all know Killmonger was an angry person, that was the next logical person she could go to.
Maybe that's who she unconsciously invited.
Hmm.
Basically,
Or
she
wanted
opened
to
the door
be.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, because she saw how his outlook on life. She was like, okay, well, that's probably the best for this situation that I'm in right now. Because he had lost his father prior to coming to Wakanda.
I guess it's kind of nice to think of like we were just talking about before we came on onto this recording also, is that we there's movies out there that depict death and everything, the depict the fact, the what reminds us every day is that we're gonna die at some point. Where this movie reminded us of that, sadly, with kind
Mm-hmm.
of seeing a character transition away, but also you see the outcome of like having to grieve also. And
Yep.
so all throughout the movie you see where Shuri and the mother being almost like a typical mother or like a parent and a caregiver where it's difficult, but you kind of have to meet a point and say, I'm done, and I have to move on, and celebrate life and everything, and all that stuff. Where like people kind of go through different phases and meet those phases at different times and stuff. So you kind of saw a natural progression of grief throughout Shuri's kind of like time before becoming the Black Panther, and having kind of this like vengeful feeling of anger and all that stuff, and then kind of finding solace in the fact that her brother and her mother are always around and stuff. I think it's kind of nice. And it was like a 2.5 hour trip of grief, basically seeing someone go through the stages of grief,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. They did it in a good way though. Like they made you cry, but then you also had a great ending where you could smile.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, have a nice little tear when I
I
try to tell myself
was
not to cry in public.
I was actually like prior to this movie coming out, like when they first showed the trailer and they showed a Black Panther suit with black and gold, I was actually hoping Michael B. Jordan was back in the movie. So to actually see him in it was kind of cool.
Yeah, again, that kind of goes back to, I think, um Marvel shoots themselves in the foot. And granted, you never plan on someone dying in terms of
Yeah.
like your main character and stuff, but you definitely should not be killing off your villains all the time, because it would have been something like I it would have been something for Killmonger to have survived at the end of the first Black Panther, and then say in an interim, how about I step in as Black Panther and stuff,
Yeah.
and kind of meet this force that they don't understand in terms of Neymar's character and Neymar's civilization, and they really find some hardship in trying to meet this force with more force. And I think Killmonger would have been someone that like would have succeeded, but then also then you have to like deal with the repercussions of like how do you remove Killmonger from like that power and everything. But yeah, but I don't know. I think Shuri was a good kind of introduction to someone else that could play Black Panther.
I think she'll be okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think I had the hopes that Killmonger was coming back.
Right? Especially, I don't know, Michael B. Jordan, dude's probably like, yeah, I haven't gotten fat yet, so I can play him.
Exactly. I'm
I
doing
can come
Creed,
back.
so I'm good.
He's like, I just got done filming Creed, so I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like,
You know he directed this one, right?
Creed?
Yeah, he directed number 3 that's coming out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Does that mean being a director is pretty easy? No, I'm just joking.
We'll see how this one turns out.
Well,
It's
yeah, we'll see
Killmonger
what
and
happens.
Kang in the same movie, so we'll see how it is.
Oh, that is, dude. What do you think they
Yeah.
do? Do they all have like a Marvel meetup and everything, and then like, all right, let's just start pitching ideas to each other and stuff. Let's figure out how to make more money for all of us.
Hey.
But
But
that's interesting.
side
I'm gonna
note,
have to put that on my list to watch Creed 3.
oh yeah, it's already on. You already know it's on mine.
Oh yeah, well, we're probably gonna be recording
Oh,
a
for sure.
podcast for that.
We have to. Yeah, we have to. Side note, it's nothing to do with Wakanda, but it's also Michael B. Jordan. Did you ever watch Without Remorse? That Tom Clancy?
Oh no. My dad texted me. He was like, "You gotta watch Without Remorse." He's like, "It's fucking
It's
good."
it's good.
Oh
It's
man.
good.
Okay, so is he um I know he's like a separate character within the Tom Clancy world,
Yeah.
right? Because I watched the TV show or the Amazon show, the one with
Hmm.
the dude from The
With
Office.
yeah,
Um
what is his name? Krasinski.
yeah, that one's really good, but he's like the
That's one I
main
need to
character from
watch.
the books.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, I
supposed to be
think
the
he's
main
playing Tom
character.
Clancy, right?
Well, Tom
Or
Clancy is
Tom
the
Clancy's the
writer.
writer. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he plays
I can look it up. I don't remember.
yeah,
But he plays the main
something
person.
Ryan. His son is Jack Ryan, or is he Jack Ryan? And then there's like his son, and then so like it's his last name's Ryan. But I gotta watch that Without Remorse.
It's yes, it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something else I was about to say. Dang. Oh, so I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but they introduced something at the end
Oh,
that
Without
like
Remorse.
opens up. Yeah. They introduced something at the end that like opens up the world.
Does John Krasinski show up out of nowhere and be like, "Here's Michael"?
Watch the movie. We can talk about it. I'll rewatch it again because I truly enjoyed it. so we could talk about it. That could be another episode. I don't
Okay.
want to start
It's on
blurting
Amazon,
out
right?
more
I'm
spoilers.
yeah.
Yes, it's
About
on
it. No,
Amazon.
I'm going home to go see my dad soon, and so you may tell me like, let's
He
just
may be
watch it
like,
right now.
let's watch it again.
Yeah. Because I remember that guy, my dad, my parents were like reading books like crazy. I don't know how people have time to read books, but granted, we find times we find
Hey,
time to watch movies.
hey, I
So
read.
I don't read. Okay, so all enough. I'm reading the first Harry Potter, and I'm like reading it,
Goodness
like I'm
gracious.
like really enjoying it. But to to go back on my tangent, but that guy used to read the Tom Clancy books like cover to cover, and they're like fat. Like if you chuck them across the room, it would probably make a dent on the other side. But
Mhm.
yeah, he used to read them all the time, and he loved them. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on my watch list without remorse.
Please do.
I think
Please do.
we're, we're
I know you'll like it.
we're talking too many random stuff, but I'll ask you the
The
final
final
question.
question.
Uh, I'm pretty sure we know the answer to this,
Yeah.
but will you add Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever to your movie collection?
Well, before I answer that, uh, we didn't say the ratings that we gave it on Letterbox.
Oh yeah,
So I
let me
gave
see.
it, yeah, this is going to transition into if I would buy or add it to my collection, but I gave it a 4.5. Like I truly enjoyed the
Uh,
movie. Like I said, liked it enough to watch it twice in a weekend. So yes, I would definitely add this to my collection once it actually comes out. And I
okay,
can't wait to see the behind the scenes. I don't know if you watched the Assembled series on Disney Plus, but they've recently, I think they've done it for maybe the last all the Phase 4 movies and TV shows. They've done an assembled episode 4, and they do behind the
uh,
scenes of how they make the movies, the TV shows, and they've done it for all of them. So my nerdy self has binged all of them.
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. I've never actually seen one of those, the
It's
assembled
good.
series.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
yeah, it's funny because you give it 4.5. I think the whole like non showing too much about Namor and stuff. I gave it 4 stars out of
Mhm.
5. But I would definitely buy this movie. I would probably buy like a special edition, like you said, with like
Oh yeah.
some extra features of stuff like the behind the scenes of like where like the language that they used for Wakanda and even the Namor civilization. It's like who who went out and like found different languages and maybe they morphed them together because there's an ancient language in Mexico called Nahuatl, and that's what basically the Aztecs and sort of like the native people in Mexico spoke. But this was not. This was like Mayan sort of language and stuff, and so but who went out and researched all that stuff and trying to write a script with that language and even the Wakandan language. It's like
Yeah.
being able to like have those little nuances of like who did all that, who did all the research, and how did you develop a little thing that exploded with a bunch of water and stuff. And so
That was all
it's
somebody
not
else
just
getting
a
paid the
water
big
balloon and
bucks.
everything. It's not like the one where kids were we put at the end of a water hose and stuff. but but yeah, no, this is a very good movie, and
Yeah.
I think you've seen it twice. I think I would
Hmm.
definitely watch it in the next few weeks again. Probably when it comes out on. I'm trying to buy a new TV for Black Friday,
Ah.
so maybe when it comes out on like digital and stuff, I can rent it off Amazon for like $30 or something.
No,
But
you can just get it on. You know it's going straight to Disney Plus.
that's true, yeah, most likely. But yeah, so I pay for that anyways. So
See, there you
but
go.
yeah, I'm trying to buy a new TV and everything, so I want to watch it all nice. I feel like it
Mm.
was weird going to the movie theater, but again, after this whole pandemic and everything, so
Ah, come
every,
on. We're going to
everyone
one
was
next
coughing
week.
around us. Everyone was coughing around us. So
Okay.
just
That's why
trying
we're
to eat
sitting in
my
the movie
popcorn
theater
in
again
peace.
next week.
All right, man. Well, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week for another one. Thank you.
Thanks.